Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Auntie Red, and today we're doing another book haul video, but this time it's not books that I bought, it's books I got from the library, because I love my library. I put holds on stuff all the time, run in, grab them, and that's it. It's so easy. I love doing holds. Now the first two that I'm going to talk about, I've had for a week, maybe 2 weeks, I think just 1 week. And so I've already started reading them. They're both nonfiction. I love me some nonfiction. So first up we have Bite by Bite by Amy Nezhukumatathil. I'm so sorry. Her name is very long and I did not look up how to pronounce it. I should have done that. But this is Bite by Bite, Nourishments and Jamborees, and it is a book of food writing. It's essays about food. So there's chapters about, for example, blackberry and figs and sugarcane, hollow, jackfruit, waffles. Basically, any kind of food that Amy has that is connected to a memory of her and her family, she writes about it and she shares. Or not even just her family, but her memories of life in general. She talks about her friends in here and their relationship together with food and how it's involved. The watermelon chapter was one of my favorite chapters. It's about her and Ross Gay, and they went to a watermelon festival in Cave City, Arkansas, and ate ice cold watermelon off the back of a truck, a big like tractor trailer truck, not just a pickup truck. And she talked about how the Cave City watermelon is special and nobody else can call theirs this certain kind of watermelon because it only grows in Cave City, Arkansas because of the soil they have. So even if you took seeds from a Cave City watermelon and planted them somewhere else, it wouldn't be the same because it doesn't have the same growing conditions. Anyway, lots of great stuff in here. I'm reading it slowly. I can only do 2 or 3 at a time. They're very short. They're like 1 to 4 pages long. So they're very short essays, very poetic. She is a poet at heart, and you can tell from the way that she writes. So far I recommend this, Bite by Bite by Amy Nezhukumatathil. My second book that I'm reading is by one of my favorite nonfiction authors, and it is God's Problem: How the Bible Fails to Answer Our Most Important Question, Why We Suffer, by Bart D. Ehrman. And you can see I've got notes through it. I didn't write in the book. I just put my little flags in there to take notes later. So as the subtitle says, this is talking about how the Bible fails to answer why we suffer. And Ehrman goes through all of the arguments from the Bible itself, both the Old Testament and the New Testament, to talk about how this book that we have and that so many people put so much weight into cannot answer why there's suffering in the world. And so it's a really heavy question, and there are definitely heavy topics in here. He talks at the beginning of each chapter, he has a segment about suffering, a real life example of suffering. So for example, he talks about the Holocaust in one chapter. He talks about World War II in the trenches in another chapter. He talks about Khmer Rouge in Cambodia in another chapter. So I'm finding it really fascinating. It resonates with me a lot. Anyway, God's Problem, Bart Ehrman, wonderful book. Next up is one I have not started. It is fiction, and it is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. I have heard so much about this book that I wanted to give it a try. It's nice and short. I think it's a cozy mystery. Not cozy mystery, it's a cozy fantasy. Tao is an immigrant fortune teller traveling something with just her trusty mule for company. She tells only small fortunes, whether it will hail next week, which boy the barmaid will kiss, when the cow will calve. She knows from bitter experience that big fortunes come with big consequences. And it sounds like it's found family and little magic. I kind of like the idea of that. So, Teller of Small Fortunes. Looking forward to that one. This next one is one I have not heard from anywhere. I saw it, I think, recommended on the library's website, but it's called Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent by Judi Dench. Now, I am not a huge Judi Dench fan, like some of my friends are. You know who you are. But I thought this sounded fascinating. It's Judi Dench writing about her time performing Shakespeare. For the very first time, Judi opens up about every Shakespearean role she has played throughout her 7-decade career, from Lady Macbeth in Titania to Ophelia in Cleopatra. In a series of intimate conversations with actor and director Brendan O'Hay, she guides us through Shakespeare's plays with incisive clarity, revealing the secrets of her rehearsal process and inviting us to share in her triumphs, disasters, and backstage shenanigans. Okay, so it sounds like this is a series of interviews? Yeah, a series of interviews about various things. I'm seeing a chapter called Hamlet and The Merchant of Venice, Twelfth Night, Cymbeline, Antony and Cleopatra, Richard II, Rehearsal, Comedy of Errors, King Lear. I know nothing about Judi Dench's time as a Shakespearean actor, but I thought I studied a lot of Shakespeare in grad school. I went to grad school for poetry, but I had to do something else to get credits. So one of my favorite professors was a Shakespearean professor. She taught Shakespeare. So I took a lot of her classes, read a lot of things that I wouldn't have read, like Richard II, Richard III. I don't think we read King Henry. We read the history plays, and we read Titus Andronicus, which is my favorite Shakespeare play because it's so fucking gory and good, and the adaptation with Anthony Hopkins was brilliant. I remember really enjoying that one when I saw it. That is neither here nor there. I don't even know if Judi Dench was in Titus Andronicus or if she ever played any characters from Titus Andronicus. However, Judi Dench, Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent. Now, that's all I have from the library for now. However, I did get my Aardvark book box. So, I've got my little pair of desk embroidery scissors here. I'm going to use to slice it open. And yes, I know what books I got because I picked them out, but I didn't necessarily pay a lot of attention to what they were about, just kind of what genre they were. At least that's true with this first one. This is Salt Bones by Jennifer Given. Again, I have no idea what this is about. If I did, I must have read the synopsis, but I don't remember it at all. But this is blurbed as saying, this mystery spiked with horror, magical realism, and stunning prose cast a spell on me. Let's see, 3 women in one twisted family race for answers in this gripping retelling of Persephone and Demeter set in the Mexicali borderlands. Malamar Veracruz has never left the dust-choked town of El Valle. Here, Mal has done her best to build a good life. She's raised 2 children, worked hard, and tried to forget the painful, unexplained disappearance of her sister Elena. But when another local girl goes missing, Mal plunges into a fresh yet familiar nightmare. As a desperate Mal hunts for answers, her search becomes increasingly tangled with inscrutable visions of a horse-headed woman, a legend locals call La Ciguanaba, La Siguanaba, whom Mal feels compelled to follow. Mal's perspective is joined by the voices of her two daughters, and the three of them must work to uncover the truth about the missing girls in their community before it's too late. Combining elements of Latina and indigenous culture, family drama, mystery, horror, and magical realism in a spellbinding mix, Saltbones explores the long shadows cast by environmental catastrophe, family secrets, and the unrelenting bond between mothers and daughters. And the author is, like I said, Jennifer Given, is a Mexican-American and indigenous poet and novelist from the southwestern desert, and the recipient of poetry fellowships. So, Saltbones, I'm intrigued. I had no idea what it was about, although the synopsis did ping in my head a little bit. But it'll be fun to read this one. And the next one is Where You End by Abbott Collar. And once again, I have forgotten what this is about. So, oh, interesting. It has, can you see? It has tree branches on the pages. You can see it on the edge of the book. You can see the little, well, maybe you can't, but I promise there are little lines there where the pages come, or the tree branches come to the edge. Anyway, from best-selling nonfiction author Abbott Collar comes a spellbinding fiction debut inspired by true events. An unusual form of amnesia derails the lives of identical twins, forcing them to face the indelible, dangerous shadow of the past. When 22-year-old Kat Bird wakes up from a coma, that's right. Okay, so one twin, Kat, I guess, has been in a coma for however long. She wakes up and her twin sister is there, Jude, and Jude starts telling her about her life because Kat has amnesia and can't remember her life. So Jude makes shit up. She tells her Jude invents an idyllic childhood in the hope of erasing the darkness of their history and the threats it still holds. So Kat starts finds out that what she's been told is not true and starts unraveling it. So I had to have this one. I loved the sound of it. And so Abbott Collar, formerly writing as Karen Abbott, is the New York Times bestselling author of Sin in the Second City, American Rose, Liar, Temptress, Soldier, Spy, and The Ghosts of Eden Park. I've never heard of any of those. I'm sorry, Abbott Collar. But Where You End, Abbott Collar, I'm looking forward a lot to this one. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I wanted it in my hands because it sounds really good. I might get to it in July, but I've got a lot of books on the go. Like I said, I've got those two, the Bart Ehrman and the food writing book, along with another book of essays, the Best American Essays of 2021, I think. Or 2020. I can't remember. It's one or the other. Their numbering system is always a year off, so it always confuses me. Anyway, and then I just started 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. That was a book on my July TBR game that I played that I didn't record because I didn't have a channel when I played it. I just did it for fun. However, in August, I will bring you along on my August TBR game, Spin the Bottle, except I spin the pen because I don't really have a bottle. But I borrowed the idea from Sid Bookworm. I'll link her down below. Her setup is super fancy. She's got a board, like a big board, and a bottle with a magnet in it. And there's a magnet on the board so the bottle stays in place and doesn't go roaming like my pen goes roaming. Those are my books for this little haul, and I'm really looking forward to reading them and sharing them with you. And if you have any book recommendations, leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you're reading and what you think I should read. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!